Right? God is saying to us that in order for us to be able to acknowledge sin, we have to actually know where the sin is. And in order for us to be able to know where the sin is, it is important for us to understand that to turn from our wicked ways, there must be an assessment of our lives. You got to be able to assess your behavior, assess your conduct. You have to be able to review how you act in this life according to God's word. You got to be able to look at God's word and look at your mindset. Look at God's word and look at your conduct. Look at God's word and look at your behavior. You got to be able to assess your behavior against God's word. And if it does not line up, it's not God's word that is wrong. It is your wicked ways. But many of us are afraid to look at ourselves in the mirror. We don't want to look at ourselves in the mirror. We don't want to spend time with God. We don't want to have any quietness around us, because if God gets us alone, it will intensify the reality that we're walking outside the will of God. But God is saying, my brothers and sisters, that you still have time to change. You still have time to do something different. You still have time to go down a different path. But in order to do that, there must be a full assessment of your life against God's word. To live as a Christian and never assess yourself according to God's word, it's like taking a test, not grading it, yet saying you passed. Let me say that again. To live this Christian life and to never open the Bible and say, well, how am I doing according to God's word? How is my attitude according to his word? How is my mindset according to his word? How is my generosity according to his word? How is my service according to his word? How are my actions according to his word? How is my family situation according to his word? How are my finances according to his word? So to live this Christian life and not make that comparison and that evaluation and assessment is like taking a test, never grading it, and then saying I passed.